Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 15 of Push2 A Plat Level Cap, the only show interested in raising your level and our own. Let's smash the cap together. Joe, how are you this week?
CJ, we are a little tired.
Oh, you've been working hard, I hear. Things are reopening. It's all starting up again.
Yes.
Look, I can feel your pain, so I have to head into the office tomorrow for the first time in weeks. So I have to start living the conformist lifestyle again, not getting up at like 8 o'clock or whatever, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But I wonder. I'm starting to notice a slowdown in trophy and achievement accumulation within the community as well, our community. So I'm wondering if perhaps there are more people, in our position. Think things are returning, somewhat to normal, and we're getting busy again. It's a shame. But look, last week you had a ridiculous number of plats. Where are you up to this week?
So we are at level 65, 390 plats, 335th in the US, and 1830th worldwide.
Oh, so you might actually get to the 400 plats before next week if you're not careful.
Possibly. Still trying to figure out what game I want to play because I was trying to play a way out, but then I don't have a headset to co-op with somebody, and that's something I need. And then I have Call of Duty
Mm.
Modern Warfare, and then I have Hannah Montana, but my PS3's been kind of running like shit lately, so I don't even know if that'll actually be able to handle it. And then I have my riding stables as well.
There's plenty there. I mean, it's all the best games as well, which is exciting for you coming up. So look, listeners, much the same for me. Level 175. 1080 platinums again, not off the back of anything exciting, although Persona 5 Royale is now finally finished, and I've slipped back unsurprisingly to 65th in the world. There's been a massive surging by the Europeans this week, Joe. It's just I've just 10,000 or so points, a whole level in a couple of days, which is it's wonderful, Joe, to see. This is probably a topic for another time, but up on this end, most of these people play all these rat games and sometimes you games within a day or two of them coming out. But some of them seem to have kept some of these games, so they have like 6 to 8 stacks of an older game that they just dump on you all at once. So it's exciting to know that still happens. It makes me a little bit fearful of what they still have in reserve, I suppose. But look, it's a downward trend back into that 69th position. What else can I say? It's going to be a big show today, Joe. I was looking at the document here. There's a ton of stuff. So why don't we just jump straight in? Now you've been on the hunt here. I see on the Japanese store again. What have you discovered?
Yeah. So I these have probably been on sale for a couple weeks, but I just caught them the other day when I was kind of messing around on psprices.com, which
Mhm.
someone in the Discord actually shared that with me, and now I check it every couple days or whatever to see what's on sale on the US, the UK, the Hong Kong, and the Japan store or whatever, so I can get the best bang for my buck. Because sometimes the PlayStation store on
Mhm.
the console is very, very unorganized, and you can't find stuff when you're looking
Mm.
for it, or things are in certain sales. But then if you go to the deals section, the only thing that's on sale is flowers are dead. So I kind of discovered a couple Vita games that were pretty cheap on the Japan store. A couple visual novels. So we got Kimi wo Aogi Otome wa Hime ni, Harvest Overray, Shirogain X Spirits, and Parfait. All four of those games are 1,000 yen. They're all in the 2 hour range. Parfait is 2 to 4 hours. We looked at the guide today. I haven't bought it yet, but I bought the other three, so that might be one that we grab in the next couple days. There's a few other games on sale for 2,000 yen, but those ones are 1,000, which is about $10, which is pretty reasonable for a visual novel, considering a lot of them are 55 or 70 or 80. I picked out the cheap ones.
Yeah, I mean, what loosely $40 or so for four platinum VNs, and look, I don't remember these other three, but I'm assuming, as you said, they're all within 2 hours. The guides probably are not crazy for those either, so that's a nice little push on the trophy score there. I like that. I like that a lot. So, listeners, we had a request from Patreon producer Rick to play this White Boys Wit Attitude: The Pursuit of Money. Have you tried this thing yet, Joe?
No.
Will you be trying it, do you think?
I was looking into it, and it looks like it has. I watched Bad Driver's Guide for it, and it looks like it has a
Mm,
similar to a Flappy Goat mini game in it. There's only two mini games, um,
yes.
and one of them is similar to Flappy Goat, and you need a perfect run to get all the trophies. And I don't know if I'm about that or not.
No. Well, I agree.
Maybe.
I agree with you. So, look, the premise behind this, I actually like this idea. I would not be opposed to this at all. So, basically, my understanding is they're selling their album on the store. I think for around $6 or $7 or something like this, or it might be some singles. And then there's this version, which is sort of two of the singles with interactive gameplay, which is for free, just a 100% game. Three-quarters of the trophies are really simple. They're just either for doing the tutorial or just playing the mini game once, basically, or a miscellaneous of hitting the donkey or something. But the two trophies that make it difficult, as you referred to, Joe, are beating their high scores. So one of them on the Flappy Goat style esque game requires a perfect run. It's kind of weird too, that game, because it has a mix and match puzzle twice in the middle for some reason. But look, the track plays underneath, and the controls handle quite well. I think the controls handle a lot better than Flappy Goat, so I don't think it's going to be as difficult as that. It'd probably take a few runs, maybe to memorize the path, or to watch a video or something. But there is a very clear path as well that you can follow if you know where you're going. So, I mean, you can't miss anything, but the song's what, 3 minutes or something. So that gives you an idea for that one. The other one is a music rhythm game. It's the perp here, throw in the perp or whatever, which this whole thing is throwing the perp, if you ask me. But so that involves it involves like a traditional, I suppose, button prompt esque. Button prompt esque mini game, but it's more with shaking the controller. What's funny about this, Joe, is the tutorial for this goes for like a couple of minutes longer than the actual mini game does, and it shows you all these moves with the controller, dance moves, which you then proceed not to have to do at all in the actual game. So what I'd suggest here, there's many different methods. I read someone is using a computer macro to do this as well. I don't know that that's necessary, but you do you, listeners, by all means. Basically, what worked for me, I did misfire, so I'll have to do it again. But what I'm pretty sure will work is grabbing the bottom of the controller or whatever else, and holding it in just a vertical upright position, and then, Joe, just taking like an aggressive. So you need a bit of arm strength, an aggressive upward wanking motion. And if you can do this quickly enough, it will it will actually work. I'm not joking with you, sir. So depending on your experience with that technique, you will look, Joe. The people getting this the first time have obviously got some experience. I can tell you that. But that seems to work. The only problem is it goes for about 4 or 5 minutes. So maybe might want to pop some Viagra first or something. But it does wear out the arm. But if you're good with the switching hand technique, which is it's a risky technique to pull off, mid stroke. But if you can pull that off, it will alleviate the RSI that's bound to happen. When you shoot the trophy at the end of that mini game. So I think I've aroused your interest somewhat now, Joe. You might check it out.
I didn't even listen to a word you said because I was just over here laughing like an asshole.
Look, the game has its merits, but look, while you're recovering, I thought that is definitely not the worst game I've played. In fact, as I said, I don't mind the idea of that game at all. But it led me down this rabbit hole of this Superhero Dash X. Now, if anyone buys this game, it is $30 US. Please reach out and let us know, because it may be an easy list or not. But for 30 US, I'm not about to find out. And the reason being, Joe, if you look at the video for this game on the store, it looks absolutely dreadful. It looks a game that Gilson B. Pontes himself would be proud of. I think this one. It's sort of, you can create your own fighter, I think, but then I think it's a bit of a generic fighter. But it's just, I don't know what it is. It's something from the 80s. I think the early PC days, but I'm not sure. But someone wrote a comment that it's for platinum enthusiasts, Joe. So I've never considered myself a platinum enthusiast, but if it comes down a bit, maybe we'll find out. And then this game, I don't want to get into this because I've had enough of this studio, Joe. I don't care. It's getting ridiculous. And this is this Playstick Interactive. Their previous game, Nerved, was a horror. It wasn't a bad horror thing, except for the fact that it glitched in the doors, it glitched in the walls. It largely came off as an unfinished product to me. But again, for 9 or 10 US, I suppose you have to take it at will. Although I noticed the EU version has not been released yet. But I thought, look, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I'm a trophy enthusiast. We'll give it a try. So their new game, Fluxteria, and it does have a plat, this game. So, very very briefly here, Joe. Basically, there are four different things. You've got an obstacle mode, a mission mode, a time time sort of trialish mode, I suppose, and a survival mode. There are five missions in each. Each mission completes gets you a trophy. So it's one of the most laziest game designs I've ever seen on the PlayStation. The controls handle like absolute garbage. And I played the time trial mode. It's a matter of just collecting these objects. You seem to only have boost for less than maybe four boosts, and then you have to generically drift around the map in space to try and get these other things. And I don't understand this game at all. And again, it's a little cheaper, so that's the only merit at seven. But I mean, potentially it'll be a quick plat of a couple of hours. Although in the mission mode, I'm in the third mission, and there's no directive as to what you're supposed to do either, so I can't finish it. And it's the whole thing is strange to me that games like this are being made. I mean, for the system, but it is what it is. So at the moment, Joe, and maybe later in the year we'll have to do our worst games of the year. Fluxteria has set the bar incredibly high for me.
Ooh.
Beware, listeners, beware. But let's move on to a more positive here, Joe. Oh, we've got the challenge. Oh no, you've got Bioshock with a question mark here. What is this?
Yeah, so it looks like there's two new stacks of Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2,
Hmm.
which the game releases on the 29th for the Switch. And I don't know like if they're gonna do it separately or what's going on there. Nobody seems to have any answers.
Because they're all new lists, aren't they?
Yeah, but those games are fantastic.
Yes, it's a very strange thing. Do you think is there any rumors of a new BioShock game in the pipeline? Is that why this is happening? Or
They are working on a fourth game in the series, so
hmm,
I haven't heard much about it. If Ken Levine isn't working on it, I don't know if I'm interested because he did one, and I believe he did Infinite, and those are in my top five for like favorite games ever. Both of those, and he did not do two, and I did not like two all that much.
okay, interesting. Well, look, let's move on. Let's briefly touch on the challenges. So, look, I'm going to have to beg another day from you here, Joe, because it just got a bit crazy this week. I'm not sure doing what, but something. And so I haven't got to the rememoried yet, but I will knock that out before we record next time. But that's not going to stop me from giving you one, I think, because you need another one, a game,
Ooh.
and I'm going to give you this game called Circuits. Have you heard of this?
I have played it on the Xbox One, I believe. Is that the
Ah,
one where you have to listen to the audio?
yes. So you can do this game with a guide in maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half if you're not familiar with it, or you can try and work it out yourself. It does get difficult, but I want to give you this only because there's a new stack. There's an Asian stack now, so you can take your pick, the NA or the Asian, or perhaps you could even do them both at the same time if you so wish. But you can report back to us next week on this music game Circuits. And if you're not familiar with it, listeners, I would recommend checking it out. It's quite enjoyable. But Joe, let's shift across to games that we wish to talk today for the level score. And would you like to start us off?
Yeah, so this week I played One Night Stand again,
Hmm.
which is it's a visual novel for it has three stacks on PS4. It's by Sometimes You. It's about an hour to flat. There's about what is there 10, 12 playthroughs. They're all very very quick though, and you basically you have a one night stand with a girl, and you have to basically figure out if you like her, if you don't like her. She wants to drug you. There's a lot going on, and it all just takes place like in her bedroom, and you basically just decide if you want to fuck off or like talk to her or whatever. And I
Mm.
mean, there are a bunch of different ways that the story can go. Very easy. PlayStation or not PS4 has three stacks: Europe, US, and Asia, and it has 1,000 gamer score on Xbox as well. I finished the third and final stack, so I'm done with it, and I haven't played it on Xbox yet, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's actually that is a good one. That is a good one to read. And I mean, even if you're there are many guides. If you're skipping it, as you said, it can be done in about an hour or so. That's good. Yeah, good pick. Look, I'll lead off with Rune Lord. So you may have seen this game or the trophy list, but not actually seen the game around. It's only in the European stores at the moment, the UK and then Central Europe, not in Australia. It's only a couple of dollars if you like match 3 games, this is the game for you.
Ooh.
There are 60 levels that you need to complete with a gold rating on each level, but there is a cheat code you can use, Joe, that opens the admin commands, if you like. And from there, if you don't want to play the level, you can just go complete with gold. You can do that for all 60 levels. That'll take about 20 minutes or so. There are a couple of miscellaneous trophies. This is where the difficulty in the game comes in. In level 2, there's a spider catcher, a frog, if you like, on the second level, on the second from bottom level. So you basically have to break the bricks, or the runes, I should say, till the spiders fall down, and you can get anywhere from like 2 to maybe 8 spiders per go. So it'll take a little bit of time, maybe 10 to 15 minutes or so. The difficulty in this game comes from trying to score the 236,000 in one playthrough, or one level. So the guides, the Chivo guides, a fantastic guide again by Chivo this week, recommends level 56. So the only problem is there's no guarantees with this. Now I'm not sure, Joe, if there's much skill in match 3 games or not. I'm having a lot of trouble with this trophy. Do you play these sort of games?
I do. This one I haven't played yet. It's one that it's on my card or whatever. Especially like if I could sit back and relax and kind of just like stress free.
I mean, you definitely can, because by with the cheat to use all gold, it takes a lot of the burden out of the game. With this trophy, I'm having trouble. I've got a 261k one time, but it gives you a bonus score when the level finishes, and obviously the bonus score doesn't count in the 236, so you have to get 236 just generically in the base try. There is a little bit of a glitch here, that when you run out of time, if you keep spamming the triangle button, it'll actually keep rotating the puzzle, maybe as many as 6 to 8 more times. And if you can get the runes levels to break and match up, you can get quite a lot of extra points, anywhere up to 20 to 30,000. But I've just been falling short. I've also had trouble with the 15 combo, so I'm not sure if it's just luck. I think there is a large amount of luck. There is a play for 3 hour trophy in this game. Now, the guide says you can just leave the game open, but the game crashed on me on PlayStation every time I did that, 4 separate times. So I think you may actually have to, interact with it a little bit. One of the good things about the admin command is that it opens up the clock as well, so you can see how long you've played. But again, the clock seemed to change for me. It went from an hour to 2.5 hours, back to 2 hours, back to 2.5. It went all around. So I think in the end it was probably 3 hours. But don't be alarmed. There is some glitchiness in that game. But for a few dollars, it's not a bad pickup, and quite fun. What do you have for us next?
So got a AAA game which I haven't played on the PlayStation yet. I played it a little bit on Xbox and a little bit on Windows 10, but it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered,
Mm.
which was a little challenging on the 360 and the PS3 because of the Mile High achievement or trophy, where you have to run through that last airplane in so much time, and it's pretty unforgiving with the difficulty, where you basically need to have like a near perfect, if not perfect, run in order to do it, and you need to be
Mm.
very, very aggressive. And it's hard to be very, very aggressive on difficulty on veteran when you're just like one shot kills you. But on the remastered version of the game for the PS4 and the Xbox One and Windows 10, significantly much easier. Play the majority of the level on recruit, and you quit out, select the mission on veteran. While it's loading up the mission, just quit out of the game, close the application on Xbox, PC, and PS4, and boot the game back up, continue it on veteran, and then just finish that last part on veteran. And it works with Mile High Club as well, which is fantastic. And that is also a very, very, very good game. A lot of people would probably say it's the best in the series. I'm not gonna argue about that. I mean, I like the first two Modern Warfares. I like the first two Black Ops. It's kind of hard for me to rank them. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, that's a solid tip. That's a solid cheese. I like that. I'm pretty sure a method like that also can work for Titanfall too. I mean, someone can correct me there, but I have a feeling there's a similar method for getting the hard playthrough. trophy on that game. It's excellent. So look, I'm going to give a little bit of Xbox love next. This game, well, at this stage at least, is not on PlayStation. Perhaps in time. It's called Bullet Beat. It's by the developer Turnox. We talked about them last week. They did the Tamamari game, which was a fantastically cheesable platformer at the hour to 2 hour range. So this game is a little bit shorter. It's probably around 45 minutes to an hour. There is also another wonderful guide by this Chivo Guides. I should perhaps go on the payroll for this Chivo Guides, I think, Joe. I seem to be spruiking them quite well lately. It has, but they do good work, so it's tolerable. It has 10 levels and then 3 mini levels. Now, this basically, it's on sale in the Australian Xbox store at the moment, so I assume worldwide it's about $5 or so in Australia. It's it's a very abstract music rhythm shoot 'em up, I suppose. So it's all electronica. The tracks underneath it, though some are better than others, but all very tolerable, quite enjoyable. And you're basically just shooting like they're random objects like squares or triangles or sort of variations on these, and they take the place of the enemies if you like. Now you can play on casual, which makes this game very easy, and it's basically impossible to die. The achievements are all based on completing the levels, the 10 levels and the 3 mini levels. Only things to watch out for in level 4, the enemy or the boss enemy presents itself as a square grid. You just have to shoot everything in the grid, and one of the squares will take damage. It's kind of hard to explain, but you have to find that particular square, and then all the other squares melt away. If you just shoot randomly, that thing will go on forever. The only challenging trophy, if you like, is in level 6. There's a farm 500 and 1000 combo, but that, Joe, can be done extremely easily by getting to the final boss, just moving slightly to the left by about half a centimeter, and then just sitting there and shooting. You can't die, you just rack up the combo. The game did glitch on me there, though, and I couldn't get out of that position, but there is a level select, so you can go back and play any of the levels, including that level 6. So it's a nice, fun completion there, Joe. What do you have for us next?
So my next one is Minecraft, which has a bajillion and 7 different stacks across a various number of platforms. So we got PS4, PS3, Vita on the PlayStation family of consoles. So those all have trophies. PS3 and the Vita versions are not crossplay, but the PS4 version is, with Switch, Android, iOS, Gear VR, Apple TV, Windows Phone, Xbox One. I might have said Switch already, but there's so many stacks. All of them have achievements except for the PlayStation family versions. Also, the reason why I brought this up is because if you download the PC version of the game, which you can get available in Game Pass for $1 if you're a new subscriber and you're just looking to spam some trophies, you can download an achievement or trophy world on the PC, boot it up, and you can invite yourself on the PlayStation 4 to that world and just like spam out all the trophies really, really, really quickly. Pretty awesome how you could do that, and you could do it for $1 for that opening Game Pass sub.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and there's tons of trophy XP to have in there. I think that game's worth like northward of like 2600 XP, isn't it?
Something crazy like that. It never ends.
Yeah, I know. They update it every couple of months and they just add something. It's like the next update will probably have like raccoons in it or something like that, and it'll be like, oh, feed it a carrot or something like that. Here's a trophy. I mean, I don't know. It's just like
Yeah.
they just keep adding and adding and adding to it. It's a lot of bronzies too. Something I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah. Well, look, we know that Patreon producer Olsero loves that game, so he'll be happy that we've given it some love, even if it is on the Xbox side today. And then, look, the last one I'll throw out, listeners, I won't go into detail. I only bring it up because a new stack has emerged here. This is the Hero Express. So there's already a stack on the NA EU store. It shares a list, but there's now a Hong Kong stack. It's not particularly quick. It's around 8 hours or so. There are 11 different tracks. It's basically a hold R2 with some very light physics or whatever movement with the left stick. You could almost play this with one hand if you so wish. And basically, it's like a roguelite racer, I suppose, in a way that you just keep repeating the same track over and over, but you slowly make more progress as you unlock the upgrades. So you're earning cash as you go. And the upgrades, yes, it's grindy or so. I reckon I mean, it works out about half an hour ish for each track. Some you can do a little bit quicker, some are a little bit tougher, so you need more upgrades. It's also a trophy or achievement here for unlocking all. There's 4 categories of upgrades and reaching a level 7 in each of the categories out of the 10 levels. I mean, if you're really struggling, you could go beyond 7, but most of them you'll finish and then still have to do a couple of runs to get that 7. There is a 10 black back flip trophy. That's very simple. The front flip one for 10 as well. That's a little bit trickier. They both need to be done on one run. You almost need to slightly over rotate as well for it to count. If it doesn't come up on the right of the screen as a front flip or back flip, it hasn't counted. And then a trophy or achievement for spending 45 seconds in total in the air in one run. But again, that will come very very naturally as you go. And look, I love these sort of games, Joe, because I don't want to play them for 8 hours straight, but I love to play them for just maybe a level, every few days or so, 20 minutes here and there, and you just make slight progress for your trophies. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, Joe, you brought up you found this quote here. I might let you explain about this here as we move into the Rata Platter of the week. But this is a feel good story about what these games are doing. So I might throw it over to you if that's okay.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people complain in like the Facebook groups that I'm in that trophies don't mean anything and that we're just spamming games for those quick and easy 10, 20, 35-minute plats.
Hmm.
But Nom Nom Nami on Twitter, who is the creator or developer of the Syrup VN that we recently played, Syrup and
Yeah.
the Ultimate Suite, is that what it's called?
Yes.
She actually was able to pay off all of her student loans from the sales of her game on consoles, which I bought 3 times. Once on Xbox and 2 times on the PS4, and then I got to play the Vita version as well, thanks to Radalaika with their cross buy and stuff like that. And they also hooked us up with a review code so we could talk about it on an episode. But I was more than happy to contribute, and the fact that she was able to turn a quick little 10-minute game that I bought 3 times or whatever, and a bunch of us into buying her game and paying off her student loans. That is fantastic. So congratulations, Nom Nom Nami.
That is a wonderful story because I often wondered, what the kickback was to the developers with Radalaika being the publisher, but obviously there is some sort of decent kickback there, which is fantastic to see. So trophy hunters and well, particularly trophy hunters, but achievement hunters too, buying your 6 to 8 stacks of this game, it's helping, which is good. I mean, it's capitalism at its finest. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's move on to the Rata Platter of the week. So last week, Joe, we had thy sword. Was that what it was called?
Yes.
Something like this. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't interest either of us. But one of our listeners, a friend of the show, Dino Raw, he reached out and he now I'm probably gonna butcher this, so I apologize. I think it's www.dex.com or something very close to this. He does some work with them, a trophy guide site. It looks like a wonderful site. I had a look there, and he's actually done a video walkthrough of this game. So if you're interested in checking it out or strategies or whatever else, I would do that. Now, Joe, he suggested that maybe after you'd watched it, you would be interested in doing the game, but I thought perhaps the bus had already left for you on that one. You may pass.
Yeah.
That'll make 2 of us. So this week though is more of a positive story for us. I think the concept destruction developed by Thin Ice Games. What did you think?
I actually had a lot of fun with this. It was only, I think it took me about 35 to 40 minutes to get the plat. That was kind of with me screwing around with it, but it wasn't bad. It was really simple. Learning the mechanics during the tutorial was a little tricky at first. Like in that first tutorial where you have to drive up that ramp and over the trees. I had a little bit of a like trouble getting up that ramp at first or whatever, but after that, like the whole game was like a breeze.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. And it was a lot of fun too.
It was different too.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah. I like that they were cardboard cars as well. I thought that was kind of cool. Like cardboard models. And I mean, if you're interested in that game, the developers actually put a lot of the models he made, photos of them on Twitter of the physical cardboard cars, which is pretty cool as well if that.
That's fantastic.
It is, yeah, if that does interest you. So, I mean, what you're looking for in trophies and achievements here is just one run through of the career. Just be careful. I've only played this on PlayStation. But if you spam Joe through the results screen in the career, I actually spam past the presentation thing, and it doesn't give you the trophy. So you do actually just have to watch that screen for a second, I think. Otherwise, you'll end up doing the career again. But look, it's very easy. I mean, I don't know how you found it, Joe. The AI is not particularly good on the scoreboard, so you build a big lead very easily.
Yeah, the AI is very special, I would say.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no, it was just like I was going for like one of the trophies in I think it was the fourth level it was where you have to like you're on that big pillar and you have to like jump off and then you have to go drive on the paint
Yes.
or something like that. And I mean like you set the opponent to like like to like where you just like touch them and they just you defeat them. And I was trying to get the paint level trophy and I had to replay it like 3 or 4 times just because like they kept killing themselves or driving into something,
Yes.
and
Yes.
just because that level was like a little bit, it wasn't tricky or anything like that. It was just like it takes a little bit more time to like get to that area, and I think that that kind of like extended my plat time too. I also saw that Dino Roar on Twitter was part of a contest with I believe Radalaika, where if you were able
Mm.
to beat his time in completing the game for the EU version, they would give you an NA version of the game, and he did the game in like literally like 16 minutes.
Yes, yes, which is crazy. It's crazy. So, I mean, it can be done. It can be done super quick, but as you said, 30 to 40 minutes at a relaxed pace as well. I mean, you can use a guide if you like. There's a couple of miscellaneous trophies for finding different things on the map, as you alluded to, Joe. And there is an option. It's not a bad option to go into the sort of options or the settings, and you can manipulate the AI level. You can drop it down at skill level and the number or whatever, and your cost boost and all this sort of stuff. But it's quite enjoyable, and I'm glad you enjoyed that one, Joe. Hopefully, more like this in the
Yeah,
future.
hopefully. I can't wait for the
Yeah.
Vita version to come out if they actually end up doing it. It got delayed, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that the Vita version for the was it the Gunlord X or whatever was delayed. I'm not sure if this one will have a Vita version or not, but I suppose we'll find out as it comes down. Now, we'll just take a just before we get to the end here today, listeners. We sort of had a giveaway in motion, and then we just got sidetracked with everything that's going on, which is understandable. But we'd like to bring it back for our listeners and our Patreon, and we thought it'd be nice to have a bit of a community involvement. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a trophy of the month. Now, because we're so close to the end of the month, we're gonna sort of make it a month from today, and we'll keep this running every month, I think. And what it's going to involve is basically you picking one trophy that you've earned across the month that you've enjoyed, and you can just post the name of the trophy in the Discord in the giveaways section. You can post a little comment if you like as well. We may read it on the show as we go. Now, if you post your trophy in there, you will go in the draw for. We have 2 PSN cards per month. I think we'll do $10 US or equivalent for each card, Joe. And the first card will be for Patreon members only. The second card will be for everyone. So Patreon producers and all Patreons, I should say, not just producers. All Patreons are for the first card, and then anyone can go for the second card, including the Patreons as well. But you do have to be proactive here, listeners. You will have to post in the Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, of course, you can join via that. And look, if you're not a member of the Discord, perhaps you're not a subscriber on YouTube either. You could do that if it so interests you. So we'll kick that off, Joe, and then we'll see how it goes. I think. What do you think? That seems all right.
Yeah, no, that's way better than the idea I had originally.
Well, it's just simpler, Joe, and I'm a
Yeah,
simple man with a small brain, so I like simple things. So we'll try that,
correct.
and we'll see how it goes, and then and if it's no good, we can change it. It's no dramas. So, Joe, now you told me before we started you went a little bit ham on buying games in the last few days. So this is a very relevant question for you. What are you going to be wasting your money on this week?
Yeah, so actually earlier today, I pre-ordered Maneater a couple weeks ago, and Amazon didn't ship out my copy, so I actually ended up canceling it today. And GameStop was actually doing buy two get one free today and tomorrow for Memorial Day weekend, and I ended up getting Maneater. And then I got Saints Row 3, and I got Persona 5 Royale as well,
Oh, nice.
for like an extra $40. So
Yeah, that's a great deal. Two buy two, one free for full price games. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
new games too. GameStop never gives you deals on like new games like that where they're just handing stuff out. So I don't know if they're hurting or what because all the stores are closed. But this week, Minecraft Dungeons maybe. I saw a couple of you guys talking about it in the
Yes.
Discord.
Yep.
I will be playing it on Xbox One or PC, depending on where I am sitting. Because it's gonna be cross save and cross buy. I don't know how much. I think it's $50. So I don't know if I want to buy it on PlayStation at least right away.
Is this going to be part of Game Pass? There's a high chance it will be, I imagine.
Correct.
Yes. Well, that's where I'm getting it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's good. You've got a big week coming, and you mentioned there the Maneater, which is look. I've only played a little bit of it. It's hilariously fantastic game. But the guest on this on the Push2 Plat show this week, which will be coming out earlier in the well, depending on when you hear this, I suppose Tuesday or so into the next week. And a wonderful guest, and she basically platted it. So she had some good insight and some tips into that game. So if you're interested, there'll be more to come on that. For myself, Joe, I've been sitting on the fence. I don't know if you know this game, Pathologic 2. Have you heard of this?
I have seen it before.
Yeah, it's a PC game or whatever else that has finally made its way to the PlayStation. It always comes with this preface that it's like a game you've never played before. It's like nothing you'll have ever seen or played, which intrigues me. I understand it's a slight horror role playing game with survival elements. I'm not a fan of survival elements, but the game has piqued my interest.
Ooh,
The trophy list is a bit of a nightmare, I understand, but the game is supposed to be fantastic. So we'll see. The-
CJ,
Hmm.
that game is in Game Pass.
Yes, I know, I know. But it came on sale. I actually picked it up 2 weeks ago because it came on sale. It was 50% off. I understand it's gone back to full price, so it was only about 25 Australian or 20 Australian, so quite reasonable. I think it's back up to 50 now or something. So Game Pass might be the place to play it. Doesn't surprise me that Game Pass got me again though.
Also, I was wrong. Minecraft Dungeons is $20 on PS4 and on Xbox, not 50. And then
Oh, okay.
there's a deluxe edition for 30. So maybe I will buy it at that price on the
That's more
PS4.
reasonable.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking, but
Oh, that's all right. And then I think I did drop, as I said, on the Maneater, also on the Saints Row 3, which I imagine would interest you here, Joe, the remaster.
yeah. So did you see like the reviews on that?
Yeah, I've seen mixed reviews, to be honest, so I'm not sure.
I read a review and like with how much like they added to it, like from like a visual perspective, they said it's the only way
Mm,
that it could be better is if like Blue Point did it. They did like Shadow of the Colossus and I believe they did the Uncharted series. They do all those top tier PS4 remasters.
yes. Yeah, yeah. That by and large, what I read was very positive, and from hearing people play it. So I've never played a Saints Row game, so I'm looking forward to starting
That
there.
is probably the best one to play, I would think.
Mm.
4 is a little over the top. Like, I mean, they're all over. Well, 3 is over the top, and 4 is more over the top. So
Yes.
I think if they kind of dial it back a little bit for the next one, they'll be good. A lot of people like the first two, but the first two are kind of like GTA lights. They're very very similar, and then the third game they kind of went for like, oh, let's just see how much we can push these boundaries, and then like the fourth game was like, oh yeah, let's just push them more. They're incredibly fun.
Yeah, 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 I think so, and it does seem to be a bit like a collectathon for some of the trophies. So I'm not sure if I'll be doing all that collectible stuff, but other than that, it looks
It's not that bad because I believe when you get later in the game, you could buy like an unlock for it or whatever. They're just like orbs around the city, I believe, where they're like on top of roofs and stuff like that, and you just gotta collect them. And actually, the collectibles in that game, like you can buy upgrades with them as well. So like your character gets like faster, stronger, uses less stamina, more health, stuff like that. So
okay. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I put it on the back burner, and then the only other thing I'd like to thank Deveki Studios, the FMV house, game house, if you like, their recent game, which I've been spooky a little bit because I love their work with the shape shifting detective, the Dark Knights with Poe and Monroe. They have set a code for Steam, Joe. So I had to actually try and figure out how Steam works, which is Fascinating, but it seems to be working, and I've played about half of that now. We'll have thoughts on that in the next main episode, but it's really good. It's not on console till I think much later in the year, but they're working towards that. I'm sure when that time comes around, we'll bring it back up again with the trophy and achievement list. But if you are a PC gamer and you like FMVs, I can let you know that this is probably the most progressive FMV I've played so far. It does some amazingly wonderful things that I won't go into now, but it's definitely a big. I thought the complex was a big step forward, but this is a massive step forward in that it now plays more like a movie than ever. But there is still plenty of interaction, and it's also some amazing fan service to their other games, including Dr. Decker. So if you are a fan of their work, you're gonna very much be interested in this new release. So. Look, Joe, if there's nothing else, why don't we part ways for this week? Because we've got to get you to 400, and I'm conscious of taking up any more of your time and slowing your progress.
I mean, I have a day off between this show and the next show, so I think I should be good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, I'll probably be at like 399 by Monday, and then Monday night, and then Tuesday I'll probably work on my 400th one, depending on what it is.
Yeah, that's good. It's funny, because you're powering along here, and some of the guests we've had on the regular Push to Plat show. I mean, we had Hakum on recently, obviously very trophy focused, but we've been taking a deviation a little bit from trophies in the last few weeks. But this week's guest is very focused on trophies. In fact, she's so focused, Joe, she's determined to come for me and take me down as well. And she was quite upfront about that in the episode. So look, if you like your trophy love, I think you're going to like that. But we'll leave that little tidbit there for next week. So look, if you are looking for the show, it's obviously available on all good podcast providers plus YouTube. Spread the word, sub to YouTube, and if you're interested in the giveaway, the trophy of the month, then jump into the Discord and post your trophy of the month. If you want to post more than one trophy, you can, but we'll only count one entry per person, I think, because again, simple mind, simple brain. So Joe, thank you as always. It's been a pleasure. I hope you have a great week.
You as well, CJ.
Push to Plat podcasts are conceived, written, and edited by Cj Anderson in Adobe Audition. YouTube upload handled by repurpose.io. Push to Plat would like to thank our Patreon producers Zador VP, Redbeard Rick, T-Bird, and Olcero. Without your support, this show would cease to exist. If you'd like to say hi, jump into the Discord in the show notes or on Twitter at Push2Plat. If you're interested in supporting the show, then jump on Patreon, the Push2 Plat Patreon, where you can find more information on how to support us and allow us to continue bringing wonderful guests and topics from around the world.